got Barry Shelley. We can't bury Shelley. She's a friend of ours. So you have amateur actors delivering amateur lines of dialogue. Equals hilarity, usually. We weren't sophisticated enough to know really what drama was or whatever, so there were some unintentional laughs during the movie. Part two, I think we kind of had more of a slapstick approach. It was a little more gag-oriented because we didn't really want to make the same movie over again, even though this Joker was just that. And Army of Darkness really is, it goes to the next. It's just because it's an action-adventure movie. So anybody, my feeling is, who is not a real horror fan of like carnage, mayhem, blood, guts, start with Army of Darkness and go backwards and stop whenever it gets too horrible.
I think it started at Evil Dead 2 when it got too horrible. I think it should have stopped at Evil Dead.
Okay, I
have a question for the gentleman on the panel. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers are brief, gentlemen.
You mean during the making of the Evil Dead?
Yeah, exactly. Let's be historically correct. During the
Commando.
Oh, good job.
Does anybody want to use this chair?
This gentleman had a question.
So Bruce, I think a lot of people here are probably not sold on the idea of the remake.
Probably a lot of people here are not sold on the remake.
Here's what you said in the tweet a while back.
Who's you? Who is you? Who are you referring to?
Bruce, sorry. Believe in the remake, dog. The project is real, in the works, cool as hell, scary as hell. Can you elaborate on that? Maybe sell us on the remake?
I don't need to do jack shit. Honestly, I'll tell you, part of it is we sat back and we watched every other horror franchise going through 8, 9 versions, sequels, remakes of the sequels of the remakes. It's getting so ridiculous that we've got investors who are dying now. This project has been around so long. And we wanted to give sort of a parting gift to them and to have a new approach in a movie that wasn't shot in 16 millimeter where you can't see the garden hoses spewing the blood. Something where maybe we don't go digital crazy, but it's a little more sophisticated telling of not the exact same story, but a similar story. But pretty much the remake is going to be more like a different group of kids experiencing a different sort of nightmare. It's as though the book wound up in another lab of some 4 or 5 unsuspecting visible imaginators. So, it's just updating. That's really all it is. We will be heavily involved in it. Sam Raimi handpicked Fede Alvarez to direct it. You can watch his work. He did a great little short movie called Panic Attack on YouTube. It's a very simple thing of robots attacking a city that he made on his own. He's a Uruguayan filmmaker. It went viral. He had studio offers within 10 days from Spielberg, from everybody. Sam Raimi made a deal with him to develop another movie entirely about aliens attacking the world that they're still developing. But in the meantime, this script came up, and Sam handpicked it. So it's not like we're just tossing this thing out and farting out a sequel, or a remake. It'll be kind of a handmade movie with a young filmmaker who is more experienced than we were when we made the first one. We'll be casting more experienced actors than we had, so I don't see how it could be any worse.
I'd like to talk about this experienced actor thing.
None of us were experienced during the first Evil Dead, myself included. But that's the whole point. We'll be getting actors who hopefully are not known, like the first Evil Dead, so that you won't prejudge them. Whatever. So that's it.
I'll give you some money. How about the hat? Sweatshirt, yeah.
Since we're on the idea of people, the musical dead and the new characters, would you guys want to end in one taking the new rendition of your own characters?
We don't have currently there's no person-for-person correlation that you remake. There's no
I think
ash.
Shelley probably. would
There's
like
no
to
ash
put
in the
real
remake.
foot in it.
I would like to discuss this a little bit, because I have a daughter who's an actress. I've been nudging Bruce about this for weeks.
Does she like trees?
So, her name is Bud, but she's a budding actress. Yes, thank you. No, and actually, don't you think it would be cool if my daughter, the NYU trained actress, played my role or played a role in the film? All 50 people here think that it should happen, so it should happen. I'm just saying.
Ask another question. How much of H.G.
You're just plowing ahead, aren't you?
How much of H.G. Lovecraft's work was influential in the first Evil Dead?
Well, when I first wrote the script for Evil Dead, I said to myself, what influence could I use? H.P. Lovecraft? A little of this, a little of that. How about that, sir? You're asking a question that nobody here is qualified to answer.
Now, I brought up the H.P. Lovecraft, not H.G. as H.G. Lewis, the other guy. But I brought up the Lovecraft thing and mentioned that the Book of the Dead is similar to the Necronomicon, although I really don't like it being called the Necronomicon because that's Lovecraft's creation. Mine's something else.
What would you call yours?
Tom Sullivan's Book of the Dead.
Nice. But how could that be a mistake? Oops, I didn't mean to rape her with a tree. I don't know about that one.
I would say mistake isn't the word. I would say, well, it wasn't necessarily initially meant to have the sexual component as far as I knew, or as far as it said in the script. It just kind of evolved, right, Bruce?
I think it did, because I don't think in the original draft there was a moaning and legs going, oi, 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 oi.
No, I think in the script it said, Cheryl is attacked by the trees. I went, okay, I can do that.
Next thing she knew, vines were wrapping around her boob.
I didn't think anybody was ever going to see it. What did I care?
My kids have never seen this movie.
During the beginning of Evil Dead 2 down in Wadesboro, we screened Evil Dead for the entire crew, so everybody kind of who hadn't seen it would be up to speed on it. And I sat next to Sam Raimi, and when the tree rape scene came up, he planted his head in his hands and said, "Why did I turn it into pornography?" That might answer. Here's one right in the dead front.
How about a reality show where all the original cast members of Evil Dead live in the same house?
Cabin. You're talking about a
A
cabin.
reality show where all the originally Evil Dead cast members live in a cabin again. Yeah, you just don't fit your day job there. Yes, over here on the side.
Mr. Campbell, could you explain the process of creating an image of terror on your face over and over and over?
Could I explain that process? Like how stand-up, sir? How would you do it? If I said,